We're excited to share some information with you. We are having a hybrid meeting. So, of course, we are here in person, but we also have some hybrid online housekeeping that we have to take care of. And so, we're going to go ahead and get started with the meeting. All right. So once again, we just want to note that we are required to let you know that we are recording this meeting. It's going to show on the YouTube page for DDOT, as well as it'll be streamed live on Facebook for DDOT. So this is going to be a recorded meeting. And of course, we just want to make sure that everyone's comfortable again online and know that we have people in the room and people that are attending online. Next slide. So if you are online, just to FYI, using WebEx, audio muting, everyone is on mute. You can unmute yourself during the Q&A and comment portion of the meeting, but as of right now, you are on mute. To request to speak, all you have to do is hit the raise your hand feature, which we're gonna cover coming up here shortly. All right, so everyone that is on mute, we have closed captioning that's happening online as well. But once again, you can raise your hand to scroll. So to give you a bit of what's happening with the WebEx application, you'll click the three dot icon, scroll down and select closed captioning if you need that information. And also to request to speak, you'll just raise your hand. It's a little feature that you can click with the three dots and then it has the option to raise your hand. All right, so if you do have a question during the presentation, you can send it to the Q&A feature. Again, click the three dots and you'll have the Q&A panel to pop up just as it is on the screen. Right now, you can see how that's gonna look. All panelists are gonna appear, so again, you'll be able to know who's online with you. And of course, if you are joining via your mobile cell phone or app, you can click Q&A or question mark icon to access the Q&A to ask a question online. If you dialed in, dial *3 to use the raise your hand function, and that indicates to our team that you would like to speak or to ask a question. All right, I think we've went through this, but I'll just, get ready to make sure we're good. We went through the raise your hand feature. Everybody knows. Okay, so we are good. We just wanted to make sure we double check that several times so online is interacting just as much. All right, so again, welcome to the meeting. My name is Enora. I didn't even introduce myself. I am with the outreach team. You've probably seen our team members in the community leaving door knockers and give you information about this meeting. So we're excited to have you for Wards 3 and 4 public meeting for the DC Smart Streetlights. So without further ado, I'll introduce Robin.
I think I have a mic. So thank you all. Good evening. My name is Robin Jackson. I'm the Streetlights Division Manager. I want to welcome you all on behalf of the team for joining us this evening. We have a large and exciting projects on all fronts. This is one of the district's first public-private partnership. It's one of the largest street lighting modernization projects in the country. We are modernizing over 72,000 assets here that affect every single resident of the District of Columbia. Tonight, you'll hear from various team experts and subject matter experts on both the developer side and on DDOT side. They'll have an opportunity to ask us questions and learn more about the project. We're happy about our wins here and also our lessons learned. So again, welcome on behalf of the team and behalf of DDOT. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. We're so excited to present this to you tonight because it has been just a whirlwind of activity all across the city for over a year now. So I just want you to meet the team. We're going to talk about our project background and the history of this project and our engagement work. I've been working on this project since 2018, and it's been a long road to get to where we are now. We're going to talk a little bit about our community benefits, the project timeline, our design and construction phase, and we'll talk about the timing around that, which I know y'all are quite interested in. We're talking about the work sequence, our asset management work, how to do make a 311 request, and the 311 process. which is very important for people to understand how things actually get through that process. We're going to talk about the light installation process. We're going to show you in real time our project website so you can see how to navigate that. And we'll talk about how to notify us in terms of engagement and outreach. I'm also responsible for DBE participation so we'll talk about, well, I have a slide that shares with you how you can get in contact with me and our partners on that for business opportunities. We have a questionnaire that we'd like you to complete, and then we'll take some Q&A. How's that? All right. So this is the team. It's a pretty large team. So the developer of this team is Plenary Infrastructure DC. So you hear a lot about PIDC, and that's what this is. The whole team is part of the PIDC. Again, I'm Sharon Wilder with Indigo Mid-Atlantic, and we work not only for the team overall in terms of community engagement and engineering services, but we also work across the board in compliance. We have our partners with us, NG, of course, DDOT at the center, TBNA, DCI, Kiewit, Equans, Phoenix Infrastructure, and we also have Fort Myer Construction and VHB. And DCI and Fort Myer are the two construction arms for us on this project. So as I mentioned, I've worked a lot in terms of the engagement on this, and we started holding public meetings for residents in 2018. I was actually part of the Streetlight Advisory Panel meetings and participated in a number of those, not only just to hear the community concerns, but also to help navigate what this potential at the time potential savings in not only cost, but also environmental could be achieved through this project. We had a bunch of open houses to collect comments, which we did throughout 2019. And we are holding meetings in every ward with every ANC, and we started that work earlier last, or in the end of last year. So again, with the Streetlight Advisory Panel, there are community representatives that were selected by the mayor. We had a call for volunteers back in 2018, and then met monthly for a couple of years to discuss the project, and these meetings were open to the public. So in terms of community benefits, I'm going to go through this slide, and then I'm going to bring in Nora back up to help us go through the rest of this slide, and you'll have an opportunity to ask any questions. So as you know, the basics, right? So modernizing 72,051 streetlights, huge number, converting these streetlights to LED technology, adding remote monitoring and control capabilities, increasing sustainability efforts. Of course, we are very conscientious about the mayor's net zero and sustainability efforts, so we are conscientious about that. Reducing streetlight energy consumption by more than 50%, and eliminating 38,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions each year. And then, of course, minimizing light pollution. Especially uplight, supporting Dark Skies Initiative. And I know there's some questions about that light pollution, and we'll get to talking about that as well. And then limited to warmer LED color temperatures of 2,700 or 3,000. That means less blue light in the spectrum. So with that, Nora, would you come on up and take us away?
Yeah, so when we talk about the timeline of the project, thank you ladies for kicking this meeting off. When we talk about the timeline, we're going all the way through May 2037. So again, we have the start of the project, the prep work that we just shared with you, as well as what the rehabilitation work is looking like, our conversion work, and then asset management. So as we go through this project, we'll break down what all of this means. But again, we're gonna be here for a while, but we're gonna get the work done in a very efficient way that it has as much less impact on the community and neighborhoods as possible. Next slide. All right, so when we talk about the design and construction phase and what that prep work looks like, we have the design, the procurement, and the mobilization. So as we go through this work, you can see we'll have the trucks out in the community, our team will be out, but again, we're not trying to stay too long in each of the neighborhoods. One of the things that I think is really amazing about this work that's happening is that we are upgrading the entire pole if it needs to be upgraded as well. So we do have that sporadic work that's happening around the district with the upgrades, the foundations, the poles, the arms, making sure that everything is in good condition as we move throughout each of the wards. And then the conversion work is the actual installation of the light that's taking place itself. So we are doing this once again in different sequences and hitting different wards across the district. And so we have the wards that are split within the ANCs, making sure that we're going to the different ANC meetings so that you know what this work is going to look like as it impacts your community. So each ANC is split into bundles with less than 5 bundles per ANC. So when we are doing the work in your neighborhood, we're not there lasting more than 14 days. So again, doing efficient, quick work, so it's a lesser impact on you in the community. But impact as in we are upgrading the district, which is always wonderful. So group 1, substantially complete. We just have a few things that are left in those communities, which were wards 5, 7, and 8. Group 2, under active conversion and rehabilitation right now, which of course is wards 4, 3, and 2, directly impacted right now. So we have 55% converted and 20% of rehabilitation in this community. For Ward 3, and then Ward 4, 65% converted and rehabilitation has not started yet. So again, working through the different groups, and then Group 3, Wards 1 and 6, anticipated late December, early January to get started. So asset management is really just streetlight maintenance, to break it down. So as we do the maintenance and as we go through the different wards, different neighborhoods and communities, just making sure that we hit all of the lights efficiently and effectively, with the full asset management services having already started in Q2 of this year. We have response to 311 calls and service requests that are under the DDOT Streetlight division. So that's something we'll talk about a little more in detail. But you know, as you see things across your community and you want to address it, definitely call 311. But again, we cover both older existing light issues, the new LED lights that are being installed, and by May 2024, we're going to have those new LEDs that are going to be installed, and we'll continue to go through the maintenance process through May 2037. So giving you just a little bit more of a breakdown of what that timeline looks like. All right, let's talk about 311, right? So if you need to submit a request regarding lighting, once again, call 311. Of course, the call center is open 24 hours a day. We have highly trained customer service representatives that's going to answer the call. And of course, you can access the online portal. Definitely encouraging you to access that online portal. Use the 311 mobile app. You can text DC 311. We have the online live chat. So we have all of these various options that are available to you to make sure that we are showing up for you, and we appreciate you letting us know things that you need in your community. So what to do after, go back for me. So what to do after submitting your request, you're going to have a confirmation number that's going to be provided. This is really important to you because this is like your social security number for your request that you put in. So that confirmation number, you can check, once again, recommend checking online for a status update, and you can see online through your account how your request history is being handled. So we definitely want to encourage that. Again, if you want to dial when you're on the go or outside of the district, we have that number listed, 202-737-4404. All right, and so again, the process for 311, we have the call that you put in or your online request, we have the work order created, and then a service request may be closed by the work order. The service request may be closed, but the work order may remain open until it's completed. So again, it's a very simple process. Call 311, they'll take you through everything you need, and you'll get that confirmation number. That's the most important part to remember when it comes to 311. All right, I think we have a video that we're going to show. All right, so we're waiting for that video to start. Once again, I am excited to share that, when we came up with making sure that we are informative about the process of the light installation, we wanted to make sure that we gave you a breakdown, a quick overview of what this looks like in your community when it happens. So how the light looks when the light goes up, and that whole process. It was very quick, did not take long. And I think the cool thing of seeing it happen in real time is how you have the engineers and the people that are working on it that are just they've done it so much that they're just like in and out. The streets blocked off just a little bit, but again, making sure that you're getting to your destination with not a lot of hold up or impact. And so making sure that you have this information is important. So one of the things that we've also done is make sure that the website is very simple for you to navigate as well. So we can go on to the next slide. So let's talk about the website that I just mentioned, right? So one of the things that we want to do is make sure that you always have the information at your fingertips, streetlights.dc.gov. We have the overview, the history, the mission, as we shared with you, the team that's working on this project, press releases, frequently asked questions that are available for you. So we just want to make sure that you understand the information, the maps, the data. Anytime we give a presentation, again, it's readily available for you. So this is just a quick glimpse at the website. And of course, you can always contact us. Next. So let's talk about what this engagement process looks like. This is when you see us in your community, knocking on doors and letting you know that we're here. We're excited to do this work for you. We are talking to your ANC commissioners in the community very much so in advance. So at least 45 days prior to the start of work, you're hearing about this information regularly. So you're not surprised when we are on your block. Of course, 7 days prior to starting work, we're out with door hangers, once again, reminding you, once again, that the work is happening. And then in the event, if we have to have an area cleared and you can't park there because we can bring in our equipment, get in, get done, get out your way, we'll notify you 72 hours prior to the start of work. So again, we are holding your hand throughout this process so that we can get in and get out and do some great work. Next slide. All right, so this is really great because community partnerships are so important to our team and making sure that we provide that information for you. So of course, partnerships and DBE business opportunities are always available. And of course, we have our DCI, we have Fort Myer, we have Indigo, that are companies that are working to help contractors that are interested in this project. So we have that information to share with you as well. And we have our Title VI questionnaire. So if you have your cell phone, we have this QR code. You can go through, answer a couple of questions for us. This is regulatory. We do want to get your information and make sure that we are keeping compliance with making sure that we're hitting the neighborhoods. And if you have any additional questions or anything like that, you can place that information on the questionnaire online. You can scan the QR code as well. And we're going to drop that link online. Next. Dun, da, da, da. I have come to the Q&A part of this conversation. If we have questions in the chat, we're going to actually go back and forth between live questions in the room and as well as the chat. Any questions? And we have experts here, so you don't have to just hear from me.
Hey, Nora.
Okay, we're going to start online and then we're going to move back into the room.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, just one question from KJM, and it says, can you define bundle? I think it was when you were speaking in the presentation. She wanted you to.
Yeah, so when we talk about, wait, the expert want to talk about the bundles? Okay.
So thank you. Thank you for this question. So the bundle, as explained during the presentation, we have split all the different ANCs into different small pieces that's continuous geographical areas within the ANC with a limited number of lights for us to be able to come in, convert the lights within this bundle and come out of this geographical area within a 14 calendar days period. That's just a small piece of a geographical area to convert the lights. That's specific to the conversion works.
Thank you. Couple of questions. It's my understanding that in some parts of the city, the residents, once the lights are installed, have asked for increased lighting. And of course, with the LED technology, that is possible, up to a point at least, based on the fixture. I was wondering in the opposite direction, if certain neighborhoods are interested in a lower level of light, is it going to be possible to do some dimming to meet their expectations? And then I had one other question afterwards, or maybe I can ask it now if you'd like. The other question is with regard to the streetlight advisory panel. Is that going to be reconstituted or is that no longer available for public input?
How you doing, Devon Smith, DDOT Streetlight Division? How you doing, Wayne? Thank you for that question. With regards to first the Streetlight Advisory Panel, it has not been disbanded. There's been a process to try to get a forum. So as participation draws and we get some more representation, we'll be able to develop a forum and then start revive the panel, so to say. But it's not been disbanded. As far as dimming goes, yes. You will be able to request dimming through DC 311 as illustrated there. And then we want to work with local ANCs to ensure that the dimming that's provided is what the entire block wants and not just a single resident dictating to dim the light for the whole street. So we want to make sure that process goes through the ANC. And then our team, once approved in the ANC form, our team will do a lighting evaluation and determine what the appropriate dimming can be done there. We don't want to compromise safety for motorists and pedestrians with dimming. So.
Will it be possible to have just one block as opposed to a large?
I'm sorry, it's a hybrid meeting, so.
Just a question about requests for dimming, the geographic areas that might be considered. Could it be just one block, for example, that small unit, or maybe a larger unit if more residents are interested?
Sure, I believe that based on the nature of the request, yes, it can be centralized to just one block or a corridor. As said previously, it'll be evaluated on a case-by-case basis to determine what the safest level of dimming can be applied.
You want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that we'll coordinate the ANC, but it doesn't mean that necessarily the ANC needs to approve it. So please put in 311 request. A lot of the concerns for dimming are more so related to light trespass, on people's property, maybe not necessarily what's happening on the sidewalk or roadway. So we'll evaluate it first before trying to go through the ANC for a process for dimming, just to clarify that one.
We are
Thank you.
are going to take a online question and then we're going to come back to you in the room.
All right, there's a question from Elena King, says our neighbors on Window Street Northwest, keeps moving, I apologize, have submitted numerous 311 requests online to have the new lights dimmed and shielded because the new lights are way brighter than the old lights and extend into our homes. All of them have been closed with no comments from DDOT or any remedial work done within a day or two. How can we get these lights dimmed and shielded? No, you just asked that.
All right, this is Robin Jackson here again. So yes, we did recognize very early on that we had a lot of 311 requests closed without seeming like they were being responded to. And in the presentation, we talked about how those requests may be closed, but the work order is open. To eliminate that confusion, and we clarify with our asset manager, we're going to make sure service requests remain open until the work orders are closed so people won't get responses back saying we've closed your service request and nothing's happened. So hopefully you'll see less instances of that. All of the closed work orders that we have received, or service requests that we have received since we started converting in the area, we are able to see those and pull all the information and make sure that we are addressing those. Of course, feel free at this point to put in another 311 request. It will not be closed, and our asset manager is here. It will not be closed, and make sure it's addressed. The other part of that was our numerous requests for shielding. We've had a delay in shielding and getting that. And so that we've apologized for, but shields have been shipped and they should be here in a matter of days, weeks. and out and installed in weeks. So early November, we're saying, and we're sticking to that because we've given people one date and then, pushed it back a little bit. But early November is when we're going to have shields installed. And so hopefully that would alleviate a lot of people's concerns in regards to even just dimming, that we're able to block the light from disturbing people.
Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Frenzy, and I'm here with the Cleveland Park Community Association. First of all, thank you for coming and giving this presentation. It is very helpful and very hopeful. It seems like it's going to be a plus for the city as a project. I'm inviting you to all look out the window here right now, those are who in the room. And we have been asking, please, for additional lighting around the side of the library because we have benches outside and a lot of people enjoy sitting on them in the evenings and everything. And it is actually not very inviting in this much dark. It's actually kind of spooky. And I don't know if your project or if this is the appropriate forum, but to request additional lighting, or if this is the time that neighborhoods can ask you to look at dark places to add lighting as opposed to just renovating the lighting that we have. But we would love, please, some lighting on the side of
Yes.
Macomb Street that doesn't shine into anybody's houses, but just keeps the benches feeling inviting.
Absolutely. And we're aware of the additional lighting requests, and we have done a survey here for that additional lighting. I think, John, have we identified locations for that? Can you smile?
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm John with DDOT as well. So if you want additional lighting, again, you can go through the 311. You've done it? Okay, so we come in, so apologize for that. So I believe you were speaking with Devon about this particular area earlier. So very loud. We're gonna have our ward representative. We're gonna come out, we'll survey the street and see where, if possible, we can place additional lighting there. If not, then it might be possible to raise the lighting level with the RMCS. So that's what we're gonna do. Absolutely.
We're going to take an online question, and then we have more questions in the room. We got this
All
side
right.
of the room and this young lady as well. Okay, we got you.
All right, so we have a question from AD. It says we should be notified before work begins, correct? However, at least one light has been installed in Petworth without notification. How did that happen? Yeah, and I think there's another question under it. It says specifically what is monitored via, sorry, it moves. What is monitored via the remote monitoring capability?
Okay. My name is Mike Fessler. I'm with the NG, part of the overall project team. Sure. Mike Fessler with the overall project team on the design and construction side. I'm not sure exactly which pole was there in Petworth, but there's a couple different ways that could happen. One of which is if it was an asset management light out, you will not be getting a notification for that. The asset management team moves in to get that done and then moves out. If it was a simple conversion, we're not really putting out the notifications on the door knockers for simple conversions. Those are 15-minute work processes that by the time it might take more time to actually put the door knockers than for us to do the conversion of the works. We're putting out the door knockers more for the construction works, the foundations, pole removals, and et cetera. And then on Devon, do you want to do the RMCS question?
Devon Smith again. RMCS is remote monitoring and control system. What that does is allow us to on and off and dim the lights remotely from a computer. So each light is outfitted with a RMCS. So when requests come in for dimming and it's approved through an evaluation process, the old days of going out with the bucket truck and taking the fixture down and bringing one up is over. We just kind of go onto a computer online system and dim it remotely. So that's RMCS there. Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. I think, so I didn't give you my name first, so sorry. I'm Stanislas Mathieu with NG2, in charge of the design and construction phase. Another additional feature is that we get in real time the status of each and every light. So that's really a benefit. So as soon as there is an outage, of a light, we know that in real time, the RMCS get a notification so that it generates automatically a service request and a work order for the asset management crews to get there and fix the issue immediately.
Hey, thank you all for being here. It's I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. Quick question. What I've seen down in Rock Creek between here going south, are those the same lights that are currently in place there? I've seen some LEDs and I thought, oh, those are really cool because they look like they're the downward only.
Yep. So I don't know specifically the location you're talking about.
Between here and like Georgetown on Rock Creek.
Yeah, not sure about Rock Creek, but our LEDs do have the downward light and they only emit 10% up light. So when you see them, they're kind of distinct and they'll have like the levers inside of them with the globe. So you should see those. But
Okay, these were just like flats that were just shining on Rock Creek and I thought those looked great. I was hoping that was.
You said they look great? Yeah,
They
those
look great. So
Those
they
look
are yours. Second question, down on, I know Pennsylvania Avenue, like we have multi-tiered lighting, which just seems ridiculous to me. But will this eliminate that or is that there for a reason?
No, so referring to Pennsylvania Avenue, the multi-tier light, that's actually National Park Service lights there. So you're referring to the ones that have the over-the-road pole and then another pole right next to it. Yeah, those are National Park Service. And I think that's more like for aesthetics. Yep.
Okay, thank you. And did you want to?
We're gonna-
Question from David, last one. Will these new light or be retrofitted to have outlets for electric vehicles?
Great question. I think we get that question like once a week. So electric vehicles. So I don't think streetlight is as robust to support electrical infrastructure. Something like to power actual cars and vehicles. That kind of initiative will be something that'll have to be standalone. Yeah, sure.
EDOT is working on a program.
There we go.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. I drive an electric car and it takes 240 volts to power an electric car. The streetlights are 120. So we have to upgrade the entire conduit, entire system. Otherwise, you'll have fires everywhere. So we don't want that.
All right, we're going to take a question from online. We're going to take an online question and then we'll come back to the room.
All right, we have a question from James Nash. He says, we heard at our ANC 34G meeting on Monday, there are many reports that light candles are 2 to 3 times above AASHTO standards. Ms. Jackson stated lights are not being dimmed. Instead, shields are installed. The shields are not available and ineffective. Why do you not dim the light?
Thank you for that question online. So the AASHTO standards, as referred there, are minimums. So AASHTO does set minimum lighting levels as a national standard for the entire country, but the DOTs themselves prescribe what the defined lighting level should be for a particular roadway. When it comes to dimming the lights, once again, we want to go through a study and an evaluation to determine the appropriate dimming levels. What we don't want to do is compromise safety. We've selected the lighting levels to promote a safety for the roadway and in line with our Vision Zero initiatives. What we don't want to do is scale the lighting back down to a sort of bare bones minimum. So, they're set there to promote safety.
All right, we're going to take a question in the room and then we'll go back online. Go ahead, ma'am. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. It's a hybrid meeting. There we go.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Miss Jackson. I do live next door and can see the difference.
Talking to the mic, please.
You can see the difference because sometimes I have to leave at 4:35 in the morning, and I only moved up here 6 months ago. But you can see the difference. You really can, especially when you're walking, and when the cars are coming. It also brightens up the area as well. I would agree with the lady that was sitting there. I wouldn't say it's scary, spooky. We have enough lighting in our building, and we need them to participate with the city and the library to, with the loitering and the lights right there, they do work way better. And I'm on the 4th floor at night. When you keep your shade closed and if you dim your lights, it's not blasting in your house. It really isn't. And I'm sensitive to light. But for safety reasons, you can see the difference from the before and after. If people people that do pay attention to stuff like that, because there's people that have to go and open up restaurants and stuff early in the morning, and we're walking or taking the bus. But further down a little past the zoo, it's kind of tricky because it's on people's property, like over there. So I think the city itself with the lights are doing, you could see the outcome, at least I can and many others.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
We're,
you.
we're going to take an online question.
All right, this is from Elena King again. Just following up on my question. Wendell Street is 1 block long. Almost all of us feel the lights are too bright and have submitted a 311 request. I guess that's a comment. Did you want to go to another one, or did you guys want to speak on it?
I think it's important if she could type in the exact address, and we'll address that offline specifically, because that's a very precise location, and we'll address it specifically.
Thank you. Go to the next one, or are you going to?
No, we're taking a question from inside the room.
Okay.
Hi, we just recently got some new LED lights. I live at the corner of 45th, 46th and Warren Streets, and wow, are they bright. And I'm living in terror of when the whole block gets LED lights, because it's going to be lit up like a Christmas tree. The thing is that at the block, there's a big light, and then there's another light not too far. So overall, I think it looks probably as bright as you would get downtown with everything on. And it's too much. And I've kind of written in and said, can you dim it down a little bit? I didn't get any email responses from my ANC or from your office. I saw your picture. But I would like to know, how can I put in at least a formal request to say, come out here, look at this. For my house, I had got some darkening shades because it's just bright. And I still see people racing down 46th Street, 90 miles an hour. They don't care about the lights. I don't know if it's going to do anything about crime. People are getting robbed in broad daylight these days, but I kind of would like to have lights, but not spotlights. And a block up from me on the 44th block of Warren, there is a light that is, it's really like a spotlight. It's outrageous. And it just kind of kills the whole neighborhood. It's just a nice leafy residential neighborhood, and it's just too much. That's all.
Thank you for that feedback. I think it's important that we understand that there's a tiered system of lighting right in the district, which starts with the highway, and the lighting level drops down precipitously as you get to a more local road, right? Right. And we still recommend create the DC 311. We will evaluate it. It'll go through your ANC, and we'll determine if that light was create a DC 311 request, service request, and our team will come out and do a lighting evaluation to determine if the lighting is appropriate, if it needs to be dimmed. But it's important to realize that the lighting that was prescribed there for the safety of that particular roadway. As you described, cars that's coming up now, it's about visibility. So what we don't want is a citizen or a kid stepping out into a roadway to cross the street at a street crossing, and that person not be seen. Yeah.
Right, and I know we've said a lot, just fill out a 311 request, and I want to give you guys some confidence that somebody's actually addressing your 311 request. So as Devon mentioned, one of our reps will go out to evaluate exactly what's happening or what the concern is and provide the recommendation. So I also don't want people to feel like, the ANC has to approve something for something to be done. And so for your particular instance, please give us your information so that we can contact you and know exactly what's going on. We could take some pictures, since you're close by, maybe even tonight, I don't know. But, to figure out what's actually the concern there and see what will solve the issue on your street. Yeah, so there's And then, yeah, and it may be dimming it, but at the same time, like we talked about, safety and not wanting to create like these hot spots and introduce more glare when we do that. There are a lot of different nuances that go into the lighting design that's out there. And so some of the tools that we have in place, if it's brighting because we have shades, it's probably because the light's coming into your house. That's when we have the shielding to block the light coming into your home. And that's something that we want to come out and take a look at to make sure we have the right fixture out there for your roadway. Or is it installed properly? Is it tilted up? Is it tilted down? Is it like a little wonky? We can go out there and make sure that what we have done out there is correct, and it's not causing more undue stress on the resident.
Hold on, ma'am. It's a hybrid meeting. You have to talk on the mic.
So if I call 311 and tell them about, I'd like you to check out my street lights and see if you can lower them a little bit, they'll know what I'm talking about and won't.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Thank you
comes
so
to us. It comes to this gentleman right here. Go ahead, raise your hand, Javon. So he's listening. Thank you.
We have a question over here.
Thank you very much for doing this. And it's really great to see the savings that I also see from so many questions about the brightness, that there's some sort of room for some improvements. I've got the same question. We come underneath our light on our street, Highland Place, which is a very quiet road. It's like, it hurts to look into that light, just if you have to squint and just really go underneath it. It's so bright. We put in the 311 request. Your request has been completed. The light is just as bright. It's just, you have to squint. And so what does it actually mean at the street level dimming? What levels of dimming are there? And what else can we do?
Good evening. My name is Javon Hunter. I work with the asset management team. We're Equans. As far as, I'm sorry, please forgive me. As far as the dimming request is concerned, so let's start by the 311. And I know others have the same question. So when we say put in a 311 request, that's all fine, right? But I think another level to that is what you put into the 311 request that will help us to help you. So there are 4 questions in the 311, right? There are 4 questions in the 311, right? So after you answer the 4 questions, I'm sorry, one of those 4 questions is very important, and that's your the asset ID, right? That's how we know where to come to help you. And also, after you fill out the 4 questions, there's a comment area. In that comment area, I would prefer if you put an essay. You can write a book that helps us to understand what's needed in that area so that we can make sure that the resident is satisfied. I do know for certain areas throughout the district, the dimming levels are different. There's 100%, there's 46%, 30, you have it. It's all set in stone currently. But we understand that the residents weren't involved in, the background of what these percentages in these areas are. So if we do, the residents have these requests for dimming, it's vital that you put all that information inside of your comment section. When the request or the lighting survey is conducted, then we can get a better understanding. But what we want to do first is make sure that you have some shielding. Shielding is important, and it's been a hot topic, beyond hot. So shields are coming, and shields. Okay, let's start by what are shields? That's a great question. So shields are, it's an apparatus that is connected to the lighting unit that blocks light from a certain direction. So case in point, if you called in a 311 request saying, oh, the light in my house that was just installed is too bright, can someone come install a shield? So someone will come out, we'll look at the location facing your house, wherever the luminaire is facing. There are 4 to 5 different types of shields. And in your service request 311, that's where the information, oh, it's blinding from this side, or it's shining into my house. So we have software that we can pull up and see, where the actual asset is. Is it on the street side? Is it across the street? Because I can have an asset across the street from here and live on this side of the street and be affected by the light. But if I come out and just put a house side shield, it's still going to block in here. So we need to understand and do some more of the lighting service. I'm sorry.
Okay, this is Neelima from DDA. Okay, a shield is like him wearing this hat. This is the shield from the sun if he's standing outside. That's it. It's a physical block of, oh, there, yeah. It looks like that, but the analogy is you wearing a hat protecting your eyes from the sun, your eyes being your house. So that's what shield means, a physical block.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the question is sort of related to dimming and SARS, like what does that entail? I think it might be good to kind of talk about the design process, how we've set a schedule, that we talked about, that why some things are 100% and some things are 30%, just so people understand what our baseline is and what we're doing as far as where the brightness of the fixtures are currently. I think we have some slides on the basic design of it. If you can.
I'm sorry, it's a hybrid meeting, so we have to have you ask your question on the mic, but then also we're going to go back online. We have a lot of questions that are online as well.
One of the things I've noticed for years, and in fact, I talked to Dan Tanglerini, which can tell you how long ago it was, is the lights are too high on the pole, with the net result that so many of the lights go into people's second floors and straight into their bedrooms. And in addition to the brightness of the bulb and whether you're the shielding, putting the light fixture lower so that with the shield, it lights the ground, but doesn't have as much spillover into the houses, into people trying to sleep, would make an incredible difference. And I don't know whether you've actually looked at, instead of having the light way up here, bring it down so it's actually lighting the ground, which is what you want to see. And if you're worried about anybody coming up to mug you or something, they're going to be on the ground. They're not going to be up in the air. And that is a really big problem with how the light fixtures are put up around the city.
Yep, thank you for that question. So the lights are normally placed about 28 to 30 feet in the air, and that's designed as a cone of light. So typically at that height, it throws about 150 feet. So if you lower the light, you'll reduce the throw. So you're going to create other spots where it's dark. So it's designed to throw 150 feet where the next pole is and pick up the light there. So it's more of a grid.
Thank you so much for that commentary. We do have to address the questions that are online, and we can definitely speak to you after, and then we're coming to you. Raisha, please give us 2 questions back to back online.
Sure. All right. We have new street lights, and the one on our alley is very intrusive. Can anything be done? And along with the increased lighting, what about the birds? Given considerable evidence, the lights do not have much of an impact on human safety. I will then go to the next one before a response.
That was one question?
Yes,
Okay, we're gonna answer that question and then we'll go to the next online question.
gotcha.
Can we unmute Chris? We have an expert that's online and we're just waiting for him to be. Chris Locker is the person that needs to be unmuted online.
Donika, are you okay? Chris should be unmuted now. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Yes, speaking to birds specifically, one of the benefits of this project is the fact of the large reduction in uplight. And uplight creates an effect called artificial sky glow. And artificial sky glow is sort of the detrimental component to affecting migratory birds because they become disorientated. So anybody, I implore you to Google artificial sky glow and impacts on migratory birds and or human health. So it's basically when you can see a city from space. That's a lot of artificial sky glow. And any light above 90 degrees is considered wasted. So all of the lights in the city are below a 10% uplight threshold, and that's including the post tops. And this is done through various shielding, really stringent bug ratings, backlight, uplight, and glare ratings. And what that's effectively doing is, I think rough numbers, it's removing 80 million wasted lumens or more that previously the city had. So it's a big impact and a big positive impact on migratory birds just because of the reduction in uplight.
Thank you. Can we have the next question?
Sure. Steve Connors wrote in the chat that he would like to be unmuted. He has several questions. I'm gonna request to unmute. Tanika, can you unmute Steve Connors?
While we get that resident unmuted, I will add that these slides will be available online on the website if you like the presentation. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I just had a few comments, and most of them been answered. It's a very good, helpful presentation. The main thing is just that I agree with a lot of these comments that as soon as this light was put up, by the way, we were not given any notice on our door, and our ANC, we didn't. They said they never got anything, but who knows? I literally remember the first night I pulled up at my house, and I felt like I was like landing at National Airport. It was so. And then last night I went for a walk again, and it literally the brightness it's destroying the entire ambience of our quiet neighborhood, which is full of trees. And we had a ANC meeting on Monday. This is ANC 34G, whatever, it was Lisa Gore. And we had a lighting expert who was on the committee who studied it. They have over 350 requests for dimming, and they're getting very frustrated. They're trying to help people out, and they try to go on a walking tour with the DOT. And the lady and the ANC rep were told that they were not allowed to go on a walk around by Janice George. So our ANC rep, Lisa Gore, was shocked at that. And she felt that it was very disrespectful. And all the people in the meeting were shocked as well.
Steve, what ANC
Everyone's
is it?
everyone's for energy savings, but this is just too bright, and it's way over what Miss Venezzi said was agreed to. So anyway, it's a shame she can't be here. And Peter Gosselin can't be here either. He's our ANC rep, one of our reps. Anyway, it just is a lot of frustration in Barnaby Woods. I can tell you that right now.
Steve, what's your ANC?
Lisa Gore's the.
Okay,
I always forget the numbers, but yeah.
that's fine. We'll look it up. Thanks.
Is he done? Question. Okay. My name is Neenva Ganta. I'm the acting chief of operations for DDOT. Thank you for your question. I can assure that nobody from DDOT said people cannot walk with us. I want to say this on record. It can be recorded, written, anything. But we didn't say that, so I don't know where it came. It's shocking because it's not true. Things like that shock you.
All I can say is that Laura Finezzi read the email she got from somebody. I'm sure she'll send it to you. And Lisa Gore was quite upset anyway. And Lisa's running for Ward 4 council member too, so she's not very happy either. So
I would definitely like to get that email, and I believe in following up, so I'll make sure that if somebody actually said that, I will take my words back, but I checked today. Since Monday, we have been checking, and nobody has said that. We are always open to hearing from you all. We wouldn't be here if that's not the case. And I'll also say one more thing about the brightness. Brightness and dimness is quite a personal thing. I'm not saying you don't have a problem, but we've used the same level of design and lighting everywhere in the district, but some wards are complaining that it's too low. Some wards are complaining it's too bright, and some blocks complain, some of them complain it's too bright, some of them complain it's too dim. My husband and I, we live in 34G, and for him it's too bright. For me, it doesn't even matter. So what I'm trying to say is, I want you to understand the complexity of our job, where we are trying to get it to the same level everywhere, meaning all residential streets in the district to one level, but it's too much for some and too little for others. So please give us some time and grace while we figure this out. The team here is rehabilitating and upgrading 72,000 lights in a span of 15 months. That's crazy. That's breakneck speed. So please allow us some grace while we figure this out.
All right, did you still have a question? Okay, and I'm coming back to you all. I'm just trying to go off memory of in the room who has a question. And once again, we're going back and forth, hybrid, online questions, and in the room.
Thank you. My name is Miguel Martinez. I do a lot of walking on the streets between Connecticut, Nebraska, for Reno. On Fort Reno, you have solar lights. And I think on Fort Reno, for instance, for safety reasons, we should increase the luminosity on the area because of safety reasons. And also in the new infrastructure you're putting, does it have sensors that it turn on automatically based on the light? And if you have also fiber connected on the same infrastructure, why? Because you can, cellular operators can put also a small cells and you increase the coverage on the area. So I think it's a interesting project, but you need to be coordinated with the people, because for some people like safety or concerns is important. So at least if you review Nebraska, Connecticut, Fort Reno, you will find areas that are not well illuminated and are meaningful to illuminate. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that comment. We're gonna take a online question.
All right. So Dave writes, I apologize if this was covered. Is DDOT married to the current color temperature, which I believe is 3000 K? I missed the amber glow of the 2200 K sodium lamps, though I love that the LEDs are more efficient.
Yes, so Devon Smith again. So the color temperature was set in the design phase of this project. So we are at 3000 K on primary arterial roads and 2700 and below. So that's local and alley. And unfortunately, color temperature does not change with dimming. So it's locked in.
Sorry.
I'm Ann Smith. I just was wondering, since there seem to be so many questions about whether a lamp, a given light, is too bright or not, couldn't you all provide a database that would allow us to see for the given asset, what is it? Is it 100% already? Or is it already down to 30%? Because that would inform us and help us understand what the parameters of adjustment could be, and it would just be information. It seems like you could put it all on your website. Is it there?
I'll take it. I'll take it. Yep, thank you. So previously we're very transparent and we have had the entire streetlight network database public for entire public. In the midst of this construction project, there's not been a QC process yet to verify and validate the lights that has been installed. So we're very reluctant at this point in time to public that and then have to retract it. So once the contractor finishes the conversion period and there is a QC process, it will be public. I'm sorry, quality control, quality assurance. Sure.
So just to follow up on that then, I don't have a problem with the streetlight right now, but I've heard everyone else in the room seems to. But if I called 311, could I get that information about the asset I'm calling about? Just can that person provide that even if it isn't QC'd? So at least we have a starting point for a conversation.
Absolutely. And if it's an individual location you would like, our team is here. We can definitely take your information and provide it on a case-by-case basis. Absolutely. But
And you can put in your 301 request that you want to know what the dimming value is, because because they'll call us and ask, this person is asking for the dimming value, what is it? And we can pull it up and tell you what it is. 311.
All right, we're going to take an online question and then we'll come back to the room.
All right, this question's from KJM. Can you address the dark sky goals? The lights installed near us in Ward 4 are jarring and intrusive. I've been through 311, no progress.
Can they also put their address in the chat so an address so we can know specifically that area?
Donika, can you unmute Chris again?
Okay, so while we work on that, I'm going to go ahead and take a question in the room.
Thanks. I have a couple of related questions. The first is, what is the sort of optimal area that is subject to dimming? Is it one street light? Is it one street? Is it a broader area? And the related question is, if dimming doesn't reduce the Kelvin level, what will dimming, accomplish in terms of reducing the intensity of the light? If you could explain that.
sure, thank you. So dimming reduces the lumens. So it doesn't change the color of the light, but it reduces the lumens, which you equate to the brightness of the light. As we've kind of tried to share with you guys, right? To be forthcoming, the lights that were installed mostly in Ward 3 are what they call incandescent lights. Those lights were installed in the early 60s or 70s. There was another conversion project that happened in the district that turned the lights over to more of a yellow look, right? That you see, or orange or amber look that you see. Wards 3 and 4 seemingly was exempt from that, and you guys maintained that incandescent look. Over time, that lighting depreciated, and the light that you've become accustomed to as your lived experience doesn't meet safety standards. So now that we've installed the lights to the safety standards, you guys are, a lot of people are finding it to be a jar, right? It's a major difference because you're coming from a set of lights that weren't meeting the standards, and now it is. So it's changing the lived experience that you guys are feeling. Safety standard, yep. So safety standards are developed by IES and NEC. These are national engineering institutions that prescribe lighting levels for roadways. What DDOT does is we adopt those policies, and we also factor in other things such as, is there a business on that block? Is there a place of, worship on that block? We look at other elements to make a final determination to what that prescribed lighting level should be on that block. But it starts, the minimum starts with ASHTO and IES and what foot candles they prescribe for that particular roadway. I can tell you based on experience that before this LED project, a lot of roads, mostly in Ward 3, weren't meeting those standards, which is why we, enacted this kind of project, to a major infrastructure project to overhaul the lighting.
Okay, thank you so much. We are going to go online.
Okay, nothing from KJM. KJM, or Donica, can you unmute KJM, or can you provide your address so that they can answer your question? In the meantime, we can go to the next question. A question from Lee. It says, what criteria are you giving to ANCs to decide whether to dim or raise light? We at the Dark Sky Association worked with DDOT to develop the RFP, and there was no mention of the ANC being involved in this process.
Sure. So let's start with the 311 request. If a 311 request comes in and it says our light is too bright or the street is too bright, the first thing we want to do is, as Robin said, is go out and do a lighting evaluation and study and determine if the appropriate fixture was installed, incorrectly initially, right? So are there trees that's blocking it? Look for other factors that may be impeding the light or causing it not to work properly. Once that determination is made, we'll have recommendations that, hey, this particular roadway, for some reason, because of the pole spacing, happens to be 5 or 6 times the national recommended level. If that's found to be the case and the public on that particular roadway would like it dimmed, we would like a consensus to be reached in an ANC meeting before we're ad hoc making changes. What we want to avoid is some one person on the block that's happy with the light making the decision for the entire block. And then we're kind of reversing that decision when we start getting complaints from 10 other neighbors that say, now, I got mugged going in the house. The police asked me for my doorbell cam video, and in the video, it was just too dark. No one could see anything.
Okay, do we have anyone that has not had an opportunity to ask a question in the room? Do we get the questions answered online? Dark Sky. Can we get an address where there's a dark skies issue happening? We do have a little bit of feedback happening. Oh. It's a hybrid meeting.
Slide around at the lights at night and see. I mean, did you guys? Because as I said, not on my block, but the one up, I don't know how they stand it. That is outrageous. I can't imagine. This is sort of like something you'd have on I-95. I can't imagine someone saying, "Yeah, that looks about right to me," and you get going. It just is so bright.
So we do have somebody that drives around. Your ward representative is Steve Gross drives around 3 and 4 looking at lights and provides reports all the time. I don't know if you guys ever met him or had his email address. We can give that. It's Steven, STEVEN .Gross, GROSS @dc.gov, but we can provide that again for anybody who wants it, Steven.Gross. He is and we have a phone number for him? We can provide a phone number. Email's probably the best, but he drives around. He is your ward representative. He's a person that you can call and let him know what your particular issue is and the concern is, and he can bring that back to the team or find ways to address it. But that's like your point of contact for your lighting concerns in Ward 3 and 4.
Raisha, go ahead with another online question.
Sure. Cecily says, hi, first of all, I just want to thank you for hosting this meeting and getting notification out. I live off of 16th Street near Rock Creek Park. It can be very dark at night near the park, but are you applying different brightness in residential areas?
Sorry, specifically to Rock Creek Park, that's one of the areas that's owned and maintained by National Park Service, so it is exempt from DDOT's purview. But once again, if service request comes in and it's for a park, we do partner with them and we try our best to forward those requests to them. But unfortunately, that's outside of DDOT's purview. I think it was one question.
Okay, we'll address your question in the room with our experts. We do have to get ready to wrap up in just a second. Did everybody have an opportunity in the room to ask the question that they wanted? But again, I will say, we do have our experts here. Please feel free to talk to them and to get your questions answered. I know we had some additional questions online as well. Chris is unmuted. Okay.
Hey,
There's a
everyone.
question about dark sky, and I don't want her to yell at me, tell me it's a hybrid meeting, but there's a question about a dark sky initiative that wasn't addressed, right? And I don't recall the specific question, it was along those lines. So if Chris, if you want to talk through a little bit more of that, please do.
Yes, certainly. So every fixture, all of the Cobra heads, the post tops, the teardrops, every new luminaire was subject to meeting a requirement to be dark sky compliant, which was below 10% uplight. And yeah, so each fixture was laboratory tested, and that data is available of all the test data for everything to provide where each and every lumen was being directed and ensure that they were below 10%. So typically with high intensity discharge lighting, HPS, metal halide, even incandescent, it's sort of omnidirectional, whereas LEDs are directed light sources. And in the case of every luminaire on this project, they're all below that 10% threshold. So anything I can add to that specifically, just please let me know.
All right.
I just want to add another comment, particularly for probably wards 3 and 4. Because of climate change, because of all the storms that we've had, we have lost a tremendous number of our large old trees, all of which means the lights that were back in the trees that didn't bother us too much are now right in your face, right in your house. And I wondering whether you all are having figuring out any of the impact of that, because I can show you on my street, we've lost a whole ton and everything is wide open, and which makes lights that were very bright before just incredibly obnoxious.
We'll take one more comment online. Thank you for your shared experience. Thank you.
Last comment online is from Lynn. She's really concerned about these comments about super bright lighting and lack of response to fixing it.
Right, and I do want to acknowledge that we've also heard a lot of comments about super bright lights and the lack of response. Hopefully, you guys do not continue to see a lack of response from us. That it is an issue that we corrected right away, continue to correct. We want to make sure that everybody's concern is being addressed and everybody feels heard. And then with brightness too, we do want to make sure that we're taking a holistic look at the brightness and making sure that we are balancing the needs of a lot of people, a lot of initiatives for safety and all initiatives for lighting, a lot of different national recommendations, and making sure that we're meeting everybody's needs and expectations, understanding that that's not going to satisfy everybody, but we are committed to do our best to make sure that we do satisfy your concerns and that we do address your concerns, you know, as expeditiously as possible. I am insensitive to the fact many of us live in the district, and I've also experienced changing our lights as well, and sensitive to the fact that this is a different experience for a lot of people, and everybody perceives light a little bit differently. So as you can imagine, it's very personal to people, and we're weighing the needs of a lot of people. I believe, you know, that's probably our last question. So I do want to wrap up that, let you guys know that we are, am I missing somebody? Okay, that you're being heard. Okay, we have a team here to make sure we're jotting down everything that we have here, right? All of our public input people. I'm looking at all these people because this is what they need to be doing, reporting back to us and making sure that we're addressed. And then we're also have an open door policy. So my information is robin.jackson, ROBYN.Jackson. If you're not getting a response, please let me know. I've already worked with a lot of your neighbors and tried to help them out with their concerns, because people have been experiencing this since August. And it's been an ongoing, persistent situation that we haven't been able to respond to as quickly as we would like to, but we are responding. And hopefully, you know, in a matter of weeks, we were able to find some comfort in the light that's out there and some confidence in what we're doing. But you please have confidence that this we went through a very strenuous, exhaustive design process with a lot of public input, with a lot of members from the Streetlight Advisory Panel's input as well, trying to make sure we balance the needs of an entire district. So with that, you want to close?
Thank you to everyone that came out and for sharing and talking with us. Thank you to everyone online. I just want to remind you, we do have our Title VI forms. If you are online, please click that link and fill out that Title VI form. If you are in the room and you have not filled out a Title VI form, we will get one to you. We have Patrice that is coming around collecting forms, and we can get you a form if you have not completed one. But again, thank you so much for the opportunity. Your feedback is so important. We do want all of your feedback. So thank you for being with us this evening, and everyone be safe in the room, getting home, and thank you for joining us online.